Alright, so I just want to start off by saying I have no credibility. I'm not like a super high ranked player. I don't play a lot. I play very little. But I've done some research and I've played with a lot of friends that were new. And again, I've done a lot of research. Like I've kind of combed Reddit and Google and all these things. So this is going to be a collection based on what the internet says of what are some of the best Brawlhalla characters to get started with when you're new. So let's go with offline play and training, so I can kind of point out to y'all like what characters are good. So the very first guy, and this is my favorite legend, is Bodvar. He's one of the original legends, and what makes him good as a starting character is that he uses swords, which is maybe the easiest weapon in the game. It's very straightforward, and it's very good. If you look at tournaments, I've watched a few, sword users are very much used and do well. So a sword is not only good for new players, it is good for pro players. Hammer is very straightforward as well. I don't think it's as easy as sword is, but yeah, it's very straightforward. And what's also really neat about Bodvar, he's kind of like the Mario of Brawlhalla, right? He's the poster child. His stats are super well-rounded. I mean, you see these stats? His damage, his defense, his dex, and his speed are all like, it's like 6 and 5. Man, this guy is super well-rounded. So he's great if you're new, and I think he's great if you're yeah, I've seen some pro players play with him, and he does some damage. He's good. All right, so who else is good? Queen Nai. I've seen this recommended a lot. Some people think Spear is really easy. I guess. All I can say is, if you're trying to do combos and you're brand new to this game, I think the Spear combos are by far the easiest. And her secondary, the Katars, that might not be the easiest weapon to use. However, when you're new, you can do this signature spam, so you can use her signature kind of like again and again, and her Qatar signature spam is rather good. So you know, if you look at her stats, man, that defense is real high. So you can take a beating. You can take some hits, you know, which is great when you're new. Hattori, this might be the most recommended. If it's not, it's like second most recommended. Man, a lot of people recommend Hattori, and I agree. It is rather good when you have no experience playing this game. Sword, I've already explained why Sword is so good, so well-rounded, so great. Good if you're new, good if you're really experienced. Spears, super easy to do their combos. Wow, fantastic. Has high speed. Community consensus that speed is the best stat at the moment. So that's fantastic. I would say, though, that if you pick this legend, that you should probably change the stance to defense. That would be not even just my recommendation. I'm pretty sure that's what the internet says. You want to take a little bit more hits, especially if you're new. So Hattori, great. And the signatures that Hattori does, I feel like they kind of trip up your opponent a little bit. I mean, maybe not an experienced player because she's so well known, but man, when you're new, it's like, wait, what? So, great. Maybe not mentioned as much as it should be, but Sir Roland. Swords, again, right? Fantastic. High defense, great for taking hits. And the Lance, I believe, is cancer. Not my quote, but that is definitely what the internet thinks. I don't think the Lance is, at least from a new player's point of view, and/or average scrub, I don't think the Lance is that hard to use, but it's not put into that easy-to-use category typically. But definitely Sword is, and the high defense, fantastic. So who else is good? Brynn. Brynn is excellent. Well-rounded stats. And, you know, her highest one is speed, which is super juicy. It's what everyone likes. Some people say sword is easiest. Some people say spear is easiest. Some people say axe is easiest. They say if you just swing randomly, you're gonna connect. Um, and I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that, but sure, it's not like uber difficult or anything like this. So I see that it's easy to medium. I'm not an axe user, by the way, either. Like, I know people like to say like their weapon of choice is the hardest thing. Nope, that's not what I'm saying. Um, but it's generically good. It's easy, and the spear, as I've already said, easiest to combo with. Um, her signatures are great. I believe in the 2v2 tournament scene, she has done well. Also, what's cool about Bryn is that if you're not trying to spend the $20 unlocking the characters, which is dirt cheap, guys, man. But this company, I love this. I love this game because of how they monetize it. It's so cheap, um, but you can play it for free, man. And what? Crossplay? It's got crossplay. Like, so if I'm on PlayStation and you're on PC, you can play together. If you got one buddy who's on Nintendo Switch handheld, you got one person who's on PC, one person's on Xbox, and one person's on PlayStation, free for all of you. For free. Amazing. Please play this game. Please support this game. Who else? I don't think this is really like a top of the easy list, but I've seen a lot of pro players, especially maybe a long time ago or the earlier days, were playing this. Probably not a bad choice. And who else? Aha! This guy right here. I was telling you that Hattori might be the number one. If you're new, you should play this legend. This guy right here, Koji. Go on Reddit. Go on Google. Anything. Any list. He will be top 10, if not number 1, every time. People say bows are very easy to use. I stink with bows. I don't get it. I know. But it's so easy. I know. I don't know. This is what people are saying, and maybe for, everyone else, it's, super easy to use. So bows are considered really easy to use, and swords, said it a million times now, well-rounded, easy to use. Good for new, good for old experience. Kind of high on the dex, so I think that's community consensus is that dex is the least valuable stat, and since he has so much, once you unlock the stance to lower that, how do you lower that? With this one. Oh, perfect, right? Because defense is great when you're new, and you don't need dex, so yeah, that's that's probably the best. Anybody else that is on this list that is recommended? I don't. You'll see some other guys that are here and there that are recommended as good for new players, but I think this is probably the top. Koji, I'm gonna say is number 1. Hattori, I'm gonna say is number 2. And after this, it starts to get a little fuzzy, but I'm gonna say Bodvar number 3. I think he's great. I love him. Maybe Queen Nai and or Bryn coming up next. So try those out. This game is great. It's so much fun, and the way that this company is doing it, we need to get behind this game. It's a cool game. Even if you only play it for an hour, that's an hour well spent. And guys, wow, it's got couch co-op, right? So if someone has it, and you want to give someone a keyboard, you want to plug in some controllers, one game, 4 people can play. It's actually the first way I ever played this, pre-COVID. Buddy came over and he's like, "Yo, you got to try this," and we sat on the couch, and man, did we have fun. So those are the beginning legends to start off with, and hope this helped, and have fun.